You are now listening to a member of the Disney Podcast family. Head over to Disney Podcast Family on Instagram to see all the latest posts for this show and links to other great Disney podcasts.
One little spark of inspiration is at the heart of all creation.
Spark a dream that we're meant to follow.
You're listening to the Extra Magic Hour, brought to you by Walt's Apartment Podcast and the DisInsider. Join the team in the studio as they bring you the spirit of Disney through park news, history, and tips and tricks to make your Disney Parks vacation even more magical.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Extra Magic Hour, where Disney Parks podcast brought to you by the DisInsider and GetAwayToday.com. I am Shawn. I'm so honored to be joined by my awesome band of Disney Park nerds just like me. So let's go around the room and say hi to everyone. Nicole, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. It's Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hanging out with you guys.
There
I
you
think
go.
I'm going to do my taxes after this.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like fun.
Yeah. I'm going to have some Disney adulting time
And then make a little
then
money.
some adulting time.
And then
yeah.
make a little money. There you go.
Yeah, and I want to show you guys, even though you listeners can't see, I have the coolest Mickey shirt on. It's from San Jose State.
Oh, that's cool.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. I want to show you.
It's funny how Disney can put their name, their something on any kind of college. The college
And
up
my
here.
orange bird hat.
Oh,
Yet
there
they
you
took
go.
it away. Donald from Oregon.
Did they?
Well, the official Donald, but
Yeah. But yeah. So Joey, how you doing, my friend?
Oh,
Good
hey.
to see you.
hey,
buddy.
I'm glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me back again.
Absolutely. You were on last time. We talked about the Mount Rushmore, so you got to come on so we can actually discuss it and have just the discrepancies in our mount. I think they're going to be pretty close though, but we'll see.
Yeah.
They'll all be close except for one, which will probably be Lewis's. Lewis, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing absolutely great. I'm multitasking right now, but
Lewis is gonna have Dick Nunez and stuff like that in his. So
I need like 8 spots. Is there a way to
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
But hold on, can we go back to Nicole? Nicole was rocking her sweater, but she also had a Spider-Man hat. She looks like she just got back from Disneyland.
that's Orange Bird.
That's Orange Bird.
Oh, it looked like that new school Spider-Man. I'm sorry.
Oh, let's bring it up here. Orange Bird.
Now you can see it's Orange Bird. But
There you go.
when it's a small screen, it almost looks like the Disney Channel, like Spider-Man and Friends.
It kind of does now that you mentioned it.
Yeah.
Actually, I haven't washed my hair all week, and so I decided to put that on.
It's okay. I only wash my beard every other month.
There you go.
Yeah.
Whatever does it for you.
Every other month.
I'm totally playing.
Yeah,
This
that's
thing,
all right.
I wash this more than my hair.
Yeah. I was
Right?
told not to wash mine so much, so I actually stopped
Oh.
washing as much. I used to wash it every day. I
I'm
was
gonna
told
take your advice then, because your beard looks luscious.
I was told not to.
I know we're not I can't think of the word right now. It'll come to me.
Okay.
Metrosexual.
What?
What?
No, like the 20-year-olds have full beards and dress
Yeah,
like lumberjacks, but
metrosexual.
they're afraid to get dirty.
Oh
yeah,
yeah. Gotcha.
metrosexual.
Yeah. All right. So we have a fun topic.
Wait, Louis has a big weekend. We need to talk about that for a second.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I'm celebrating Easter this Sunday.
Yeah. Thank you,
I'm
Mr.
just-
Bunny.
I'm just playing.
I mean,
So
that's
yeah,
great too. Absolutely. But
tomorrow, if you are in the Riverside, California area, I have a show from 5 p.m. to 10. If you are following me on Instagram at Sunken City Designs, I will be posting all the information on there. I have an original piece for sale, as well as I have a bunch of framed prints ranging from 5x7s to 8x10s, all the way up to 16x20s. From 5 to 10, I will be there, and I'll have prints and stickers available. I'm currently, as we're recording, I'm framing my Twisted Dwarfs 5x7 set.
Right on.
which is pretty fun.
Yeah, if you're out there, check it out. That's awesome. Thanks for mentioning that, Cole.
I'll have a small handful of Walt's apartment stickers too. So if you're there and you share Walt's apartment, I will have those stickers on me.
All right. So now we're going to get into this. I want to talk about our sponsors first. We have Discore Apparel, where music meets Disney. Is that it, Joey?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or yeah.
Our friend Matt is runs that, and he's awesome, and he's probably, he's a good dude. And they just came out with a new Donald Duck shirt. Sam is not here with us tonight. She usually has to do his spot, but yeah, it's all going to be good. Then we also have Designer Park Co., which has these awesome like bags for the parks. They just came out with a water bottle. They have the hydration pack that you can buy that comes with the bag, but now you can buy a water bottle as well that connect to it. So Designer Park Co. Check them out in our link.
With a perfect name for the water bottle too.
Yes.
The Schweitzer or something like.
No, that's the Schweitzer hydration system.
Oh, that's right.
That's what the drinking part is, but the bottle is called the O2H or the. Yeah. So it's backwards too.
Ricochet.
Yeah, that's I think it's like a steel bottle, but yeah, they're cool. Debbie and her husband.
I have to say, I think I might like that water bottle better, just because it would be easier to refill in the park.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's pretty awesome of them. Like I love my bag, and it fits so much stuff for it to be so compact.
Yeah.
And I love the options for my tins in the front and I can hold my ears. Mm-hmm. But that's pretty awesome of them to be. Yeah, that's a good idea.
She said a while back they were talking about doing the water bottles. So, and then we also obviously have giveaway today, which we'll hear about about halfway through the show.
Kim, I giveaway today.
Kim, Jen, Rachel, Carly, all of them. They're the best. We love them. But yeah. Let's get into some Disney Parks news. I brought some topics. We can all discuss them together. So, Joey, when you went to Walt Disney World, Tron was still not open yet, right?
Correct.
Were they soft opening it yet?
Not yet, but they were test running it all day, every day, and it looks beautiful at night.
Yeah.
And so close yet so far.
Well, it finally opened on April 4th, but it's been like soft open for like a month and a half, like 2 months almost, that they've been soft opening this. So it looks cool. A couple of questions about Tron. You're a huge Tron fan, that's why I kind of hit you first. But
sure.
Obviously, it's needed in the park, right? Because it's bad. It's badass. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's one of the most popular rides in Shanghai.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
And so it was naturally that they wanted to bring it over to the U.S. and right next to Space Mountain. So it looks awesome.
Placement looks perfect. The train's running again. I saw there.
Yeah, it runs right through it, kind of.
Yeah. I'm gonna. I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. It doesn't go upside down, right?
No, it doesn't.
Okay. The question I had for all of you guys is, if you were like a big YouTube content creator or like a big vlog person, and you had planned on going there on April 4th to be there for the first day of the ride opening, and they've been open, then it's been open for 2 months soft, would you be kind of pissed that you like planned you're basically late to the party? If you're not Tim Tracker or someone on the East Coast, everyone else came this week for the opening of it. So are you way behind in your content creation, or would you be mad at Disney for doing such a big soft opening? Getaway Today was there like 2 weeks ago for like some party where they opened it. So I mean they've been doing this for a while. So what are you guys' thoughts on that? Is it really did it really open on April 4th, or did it really open 2 months ago when people started riding it?
No, I think the soft open is awesome. And if I were to be a content, I mean, I don't know, I shouldn't speak for them because that's not right either. But
well, we kind of are one. We're just not as big as anyone else.
Yeah, well, I mean, yes, but like I would capitalize on the fact that I was late to the party and how awesome it was for Disney to open it up early, and how that's never heard of anyone to be on time, yet alone early on any project. I don't care if it's Disney or somebody else. Like that's just like usually you're down to the wire. So
it took them 5 years to build it.
Yeah, those guys get their panties out of their butt. Like just be happy for them.
Yeah, no, I get that.
I'm so negative.
I'm just trying to make some conversation for the show.
I know. I was just passionate about it.
Because I'm not going to lie, because I flew into Anaheim on March 18th. And when I got off the plane, I'm hearing there's a soft opening of Toontown. I'm like, this is bullshit. I'm supposed to be here tomorrow for the opening of Toontown. So I was kind of like, this kind of sucks. Because I know they do soft openings, but they basically opened it a day early. I'm like, well, that kind of sucks. I wanted to be like there when it started and blah, blah, blah. So that's kind of where my question was coming from. So
with Tron, like I said, it opened earlier than planned, but also 5 years, so 3 years behind originally when it was announced.
Right. Thank you, COVID.
Yeah, exactly. But if I would have set the time to go on the 4th when it's announced, I still wouldn't be mad because, like, technically they were giving people chances to preview. If you're a D23 member, you're able to register. If if you're an annual pass holder, you're able to register, and employees. So, like, if I was still there and my niece was like, hey, I got an employee thing tomorrow and I can bring a guest, so it's not like at least they had planned soft openings and they gave plenty of people plenty of chances to do it before the original date, which I see that. So I mean, I thought it was actually pretty cool that they did that. And then
that's just kind of, I just want to get thought. Megan went like a month ago too. I saw Megan was like a month ago. Lewis, what do you think, buddy?
So I have two views on this, of course. Big surprise there. So I think having a soft opening days or even months in advance is okay because it gets all the bugs out of the way for the initial opening. One thing I don't agree on, though, is making merch or special event items, any of that available beforehand. 2 reasons. One,
did they?
I think so.
I don't know if they did.
Yeah, they showed it off, but it wasn't available till the 4th.
Okay, that's good then.
They had the store. You could walk through it. You could take pictures of like the different figures, statues, toys, everything. But I don't think it was for sale yet.
Yeah, because like Toontown, the is it Mouse and Engineer, or I forgot the store name is a tongue twister. That one they opened up, and it sucked because we live in a generation where Disney merch is easily flipped. And I don't like that. And it easily sells out. And for like the simple things like the popcorn container in Toontown, I was like, damn, dude, like I wanted that. And it's still, luckily they had some, but I think if you're going to soft open, you soft open just for the bugs and technicalities in the ride, but nothing else. You don't soft open to make a few more dollars. So I'm okay as long as they stick to the test subject and not merch.
That's fair. Okay. And that makes sense. Yeah, well, they opened. I mean, the merch for Runaway Railway was because the ride actually opened. So I kind of understand why they would have that stuff available because it actually opened in January. So that makes sense. So
and it's the same stuff they've had in Florida for 2 or 3 years too. For the most part,
that's a good point too. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it looks cool as hell. I've seen some videos. I know I learned last night. I was a guest on the All Aboard podcast, and I learned that Yo Ho Joe does not like to watch videos beforehand of stuff. So.
Rarely.
But Tron looks cool. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge roller coaster guy, but it looks like fun. I hope I fit in it whenever I have a chance to go.
And I love that they actually brought Jeff Bridges to do a quick little intro video as Kevin Flynn again.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
It seems like that ride took the concept of Pandora, and I'm super stoked if that's the case because it kind of like hugs your body, kind of locks you in a little bit and allows you, just to really enjoy it's a different kind of roller coaster experience.
Well, it's supposed to be like
Pandora was more like visual.
Kind of like a cycle thing, right? Like from the movie.
Yeah, the light cycle.
So, yeah,
but they also do have I forget what they're calling it, but it's for people that can't lean forward like in a motorcycle or fit. Yeah. And it's in the back and it's a traditional car.
Okay.
So I haven't heard anybody that's ridden on it yet, but I mean, that's a cool option that they're doing.
I've seen a lot of different size people actually fit into it that you wouldn't think because it looks really tight. But I mean,
I only fat in the thing at D23, but it was a little model. It wasn't the actual, it didn't lock or anything. It just,
but it looks like fun. Before we go on to the next topic, quick question about Tron. Do we need Tron at Disneyland Resort, since we're all Disneyland people?
Hold on, time. Can I piggyback off that question?
Okay.
Because I was thinking the same thing. I had the same question, but I have a second part of that too. Do you think we need Tron in Disneyland? Or do you think we need Tron's technology in Disneyland, and would you theme it to something else?
No.
Sorry, Shawn. When you said that, I was like, oh, dude, I want that question.
No, I go ahead,
that's a hard one.
Oh, I say I want
What
Tron
would
at
you theme
Disneyland
it?
because I am a fan of the movie. I loved when Electronica was at DCA. And just the whole characters, they kind of brought it back with I don't know if you guys saw like Mickey, Minnie, and all them in the Tron outfits that lit up. That was badass. So I want a Flynn's Arcade. I want Starcade to come back and be like the old arcade. So any Tron coming back would be awesome. And real quick, my niece told me that the ride, she said it was short, but it was fun. So
I've heard it's really short.
Yeah. So
like
I'm
under a minute.
That's like me. I'm short and fun.
Yeah,
so.
like under a minute short.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like Gadget Go Coaster time short. if it's under a minute. But Cole, what do you think? You think we need Tron at Disneyland?
Big L, what would you theme it as?
That's very hard.
I don't know. I don't know what you could, because it's a cycle. So I mean, it's designed like a motorcycle. I don't know what you could put that on at.
I was just thinking like the way it looks, the canopy, how it's like a dark ride meets roller coaster.
Yeah.
I don't really know what I would theme it as, but I love seeing the technology shared, but having different themes on each coast to give us more for our money. But again, though, I agree with Joey. There's a lot of fans that really love Tron and Electronica, like that. A lot of fans. So I would think it do get over here. I just like doubling down on my dollar. I
think I've heard, and I don't know where I heard this in the past, but Disney ordered 4 of them of the Tron roller coaster, at least 4. So that you could look somewhere in Asia as well, maybe Paris. I would rather have a Tron life cycle than anything Avatar. That's just my opinion at Disneyland. I think it looks cool.
You haven't been on that ride.
I have not. I just don't like Avatar. I don't like it.
I've never seen anything, but that queue is freaking phenomenal.
No, I've watched the ride, and it looks I don't know. The way I look at Disneyland, it's so much smaller than the other one. Would you waste that much space on something? But Disney has gone all in with Avatar. Yeah, they're going to make 5 movies. They all make $2 billion each. They're going to go, and we're going to get Pandora or something like that. I would rather see Tron, because I think
maybe not. I don't know where it would fit in to the concept anywhere in the park.
And Tron's an original Disney IP too. So and hopefully that would force a 3rd movie to finally come out.
Yeah.
That
I've seen different mock-ups of where Tron could fit in Disneyland, and it's kind of shocking what would have to go away in some places, because I guess it's pretty big.
Yeah.
If you walk in, I've talked about this before. If you walk into Tomorrowland, all to the left, right there where Buzz Lightyear is, if you took out that whole building, it could fit right there. From the front all the way down to where the submarines are. I guess it could fit there, because that's a pretty big building.
Yeah, but Disneyland is lands, and I don't know, like, it doesn't fit anywhere.
That's true, but isn't Magic Kingdom lands too?
What is that?
Did you say you said lands?
Not in Magic Kingdom.
No, I know, but you said lands. I was just saying the Tron ride itself.
Isn't Tron in Magic Kingdom?
Right.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying, Nicole. That lands.
No, for sure.
And I think, honestly, like I said, I've seen the Avatar attractions, and they look cool as hell. But it's just, and I'm sure if I go on them, I would love them. I'm the one person that thinks Runaway Railway is better than Rise of the Resistance. So, I mean, not many people think that. So,
I do like your reasoning though on why it's better than Rise of the Resistance. That Mickey has a play. I do really enjoy that concept. I just think when you look at the skeleton of it, if they would have did Rise of the Resistance style with Mickey, be a home run. So I do agree with what you're saying though.
Yeah.
And I would literally say, I mean, I loved Tomorrowland was my favorite land as a kid. But I would sacrifice pretty much everything in Tomorrowland except Space Mountain for Tron. And even not just a roller coaster, but even, like I said, a Flynn's arcade, a couple other things. So
yeah, I mean, it could fit. Obviously Tomorrowland is always a topic at Disneyland. Are they ever going to actually make it like futuristic? Because right now it's not. It's just a jumble of. I don't think Star Wars still belongs in Tomorrowland when there's a land that's dedicated to Star Wars. It does,
especially one's serious and one's kind of like a joke.
You should move Star Tours to Galaxy's Edge, and there's a place for it, I guess. Yes, you in the corner there, raising your hand. Go ahead.
I just feel bad to keep interrupting these. That's why I apologize. Joey, we have Joey, the Star Wars man. Do you think the timeline's important to have Star Wars in Tomorrowland anymore, or do you think storyline is kind of irrelevant when it comes to park magic?
Well, now it's
get rid of it.
I love Star Tours. I'll ride it every time, but it's pretty much like time travel because you're going from original trilogy to sequel trilogy to prequel trilogy, and I don't think you even need 3D glasses no more with the technology we're getting. So I'm good with Star Tours being something else. Yeah. I love it. Like I said, I ride it all the time.
I agree with Cole. It makes me sick as hell. I cannot ride that ride. I just put my head down. This last time we went with the family, and I'm like, all right, well, Star Tours, yay, cool. So I sat there, and no one knows because I just put the glasses on and I just closed my eyes the whole time and had no one any idea I wasn't watching it at all until it stopped. I'm like, okay, cool. And then I went on the Rockets and got sick because I haven't been on the Rockets forever and actually got sick riding around on the Rockets. But Mateo liked it, so that's all that mattered. So, yeah.
What if it
was worth it?
Smuggler's Run.
Huh?
What if they retheme Smuggler's Run? You know how it's an interactive ride? What if they retheme that where you're helping assist in the different scenes of Star Wars movies? So then they can collapse Star Tours and give you an interactive element versus a 3D element where you're interacting in the different scenes of the movie.
Only problem I have with that is the life-size Millennium Falcon that's parked out front. So I think
you're flying in the Falcon helping out.
Oh yeah. Well, you could do anything with that because you could just change the program to a different. That's kind of what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah. Star Tours could go away. That's my opinion. But we went down a rabbit hole.
Reduce smugglers. So, but
we went down a rabbit hole there. I'm sorry.
It is Easter weekend almost.
It is. Quick question here. Happily Ever After returns and everyone in Florida is losing their goddamn mind. Are we excited that an old fireworks show came back? Is it really that good? I haven't seen it. What'd you say, Joey? Yeah, I've only seen it. It looks really cool. I mean, that castle's huge. It's like 200 feet tall. Props to you for that. It looks cool. Projections look cool, but everyone's like, oh my God, it's back. I'm crying because Happily Ever After is back. But how about you just come?
People are overreacting.
What is it about the show that they love? Like, I don't know about supporting whatever it is, but what is it? Like,
well, I know, like the guy that sings it, Jordan Fisher. He was there, and everyone lost. I'm literally people are crying. I'm in another group chat for Bill and Barry's podcast, and people on there say, "Oh, I'm crying tonight." Why are you crying? It's a fun. Now, I'm not gonna lie. When I saw Disneyland Forever the first time, I kind of teared up. But if it went away and came back, I wouldn't.
So I think what it is they were all pissed when Wishes went away because that was their longtime fireworks show, and so then they replaced it and people liked it. Like, oh, I miss Wishes, but this is cool. Then the anniversary show came and it was nowhere as good as the Ever After. So then I think that's what made everybody all, go crazy. I haven't seen it yet. Again,
don't get me wrong; it looks cool. I've watched it. It's a really good fireworks show. I don't know. I'm nostalgic, like when you see Electrical Parade come back. But
my favorite,
right? See, Paint the Night.
I'd rather have Paint the Night come back than Electric Parade.
Okay.
Listen, bitch. What the hell?
I think the best thing ever would be, and there's also a rumor that Electrical Parade is going to Florida in 2024. A certain news site has mentioned
that was a rumor. I thought that was already known. I've
only seen it mentioned on one certain site. So,
okay.
And I don't know if it's true because of who that site is, but I've seen it more than once. But I think the perfect thing would be a mix up of the Electrical Parade and Paint the Night would be like the best mashup of like new and old, like they fused them together somehow.
They did though. The big drum float at the beginning is very similar to the train with a drum.
Yeah.
They had the Baroque hoedown throughout the parade.
Yeah.
The music playing. Even the intro starts off very similar. And I just remember because I love the Electric Parade.
Yeah, I love the
And I was wanted the update. I'm like, it is dated. We need the updated version.
Yeah.
And I thought we finally got it with Paint the Night.
Yeah. Me and Cole, we got to see the Electrical Parade. And yeah, we got this. We were in that preferred dining spot. We got to sit there. That new float's pretty cool. That they replaced because they replaced the American flag one. Which everyone, wow, how could you do that? I thought they did a good job, and it looked way more modern. So I think something like that with I don't know, Electrical Parade's cool as hell all the time. I'm there.
It's
for
a classic.
Anytime.
Yeah,
Paint the Night. I played the music in my office. Paint the Night, Electrical Parade, Esplanade. It's just kind of on a loop all day long. So it's just kind of I love it. And Soundstational.
I love
Do
Soundstational.
you know that in Japan, Tokyo, both maybe, the Esplanade music, or are you talking about the Main Street music?
So the Esplanade, at Disneyland, it's between the two parks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Disneyland, the Main Street, the music is very similar, but in those parks it's sped up because that's more their music and more their style is sped up. So if you go and listen to any Main Street,
nice bow. Okay.
Yeah. It's supposed to go on the side. Look at how cute it is on the side. Anyways, it's all sped up. It's actually really good. If you're struggling on a day, play that and it'll pep you up a bit.
Oh, for sure. And now they have a Disney 100 Esplanade music because it's changed right now. And I actually just found that on YouTube this week. And I'm playing this, and the first song is "Nothing Can Stop Us Now" from Runaway Railway. It's a whole new, different. It's fun. YouTube, check out any of those things. That's where the best music is. Next, are we done with this? Anyone?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, yeah. No, I kind of like just bringing topics. This is cool. This is Lewis's idea. This is easier than everyone bringing their own story. We know what we're going to talk about, so I can just tell you what we're talking about. Fireball. Next one, Scrim. Now we'll go back. Now we'll move to Disneyland. Scrim scaffolding looks like it's coming down on the treehouse. You can see the top half of it now. They're pulling down the Scrim. They're pulling down the treehouse. It looks pretty cool. We've talked about this so much on this show. I just want to hear everyone give me an idea. When do you think we see it? I'll start off. I'm going to say Memorial Day weekend. Memorial Day weekend is a huge time that Disney likes to bring new stuff out. It's always they're doing something on Memorial Day weekend. They've done Guardians of the Galaxy. That's they did Mission Breakout that day. They're opening new lands that day. What do you guys think? Just give me a date roughly when you think we're going to see it. Lewis, what do you think?
I agree. I think it's Memorial Day weekend. I know Just Ask Danny, who's been on the show with us before, has shared too that a layer of the scaffolding has started to come down.
That's where
Not just the Scrim, it's just the scaffolding. Yeah. And I would say Memorial Day weekend because they haven't closed down the front section. I know the wheel's coming back, so they haven't closed that down. And I think they're going to do that last. And so I would say Memorial Day weekend would be the perfect date, but definitely before summer because
still 2 months, so
they want to be open. Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Cole, what do you think? When do you think we'll finally see it?
I don't think it'll be done by Memorial Day.
No? Okay.
No, I'd like to think that. I'm actually a little chapped, and I'm not one to complain, but I feel like there is a lot of shit under construction right now.
In that
park and in downtown Disney, and they should have done some better planning because I don't want to see a bunch of walls when I go for Disney 100. Just wait a minute, or do a slower pace so not every single thing is getting a reface on it. But seeing as how long that treehouse has been down, I don't really know that I have faith that it'll be done by Memorial. I do agree with you and Big L in your reasoning and how they always usually
Right.
do something of sorts for Memorial Day. I just don't know that they have their shit together enough for that.
That's fair. Okay.
Yeah.
Joey, how about you? What do you think?
I'm actually going to go a different way. We usually, when the scrim starts coming down, means they're pretty close, and so I actually think it might be at the end of this month sometime.
Okay.
Memorial Day is a huge day for attractions.
Yep.
But you can't really, in my opinion, as excited as I am for the new tree with the SCA tie-in and all the everything, you still really can't compare a tree house to Mission Breakout and all these
Right.
big e-tickets.
That's fair.
So I think it's actually going to be end of this month.
Okay.
And it's been talked about, though. So, no, it's not a big E ticket, but, like, man, we've all been talking about the treehouse and super stoked for something
Right.
for it to come back. Go ahead, Big L.
Has Earth Day passed yet?
No.
Yeah. No.
No, that's April 22nd.
I'm going Earth Day.
Earth Day? Okay.
Okay.
Go,
You heard it
Shorty.
here
It's
first.
your Earth Day.
That's my son's birthday as well on Earth
nice.
Day.
Hey, happy birthday.
Yeah.
Earth Day, birthday.
Which brings us into one more topic. So a couple of weeks ago, I haven't written an article for DisInsider for like 6 months. So I wake up on a Sunday morning and get all excited that, hey, they announced that Splash Mountain's going to close. I'm like, oh shit, I'll get up. I told them, hey, do you mind if I grab this story? I'll do it. So I literally log into DisInsider, start typing away. Now that I follow Scott, is it Gustin?
Scott Gustin, yeah.
Yeah. Halfway through my typing, I have a few notifications on my phone, and that's one of them because he always has great news. I'm like halfway through typing. Oh, May 6th going to close. Been great. Tiana's coming. Good. Fun. Whoop. Not confirmed by Disney. OC register was wrong. Someone said they went off the calendar. I guess the calendar showed that it wasn't on there after.
A refurb, like
like a refurb thing was on there. So, Splash Mountain. And Danny talked about this on his show a week ago, and I'm concerned about Splash Mountain. I'm not going to lie, because it's supposed to open late 2024. They've already closed it in Florida for 4 months already, or 3 months. It's been closed. The scaffolding's up. They've just cut off the top of the mountain just like this last week. I don't follow Walt Disney World, but I have been a little bit more. It's like seen more stuff going on there. When are they going to close this? And are they going to? Is it not going to open the same time as the other one? Are they not going to tell us when they're closing this, so you don't have the same issues you had? Because there's not as much room in Critter Country as there is in Walt Disney World for people to stand around and cheer for the logs coming down. So I'm going to go with Nicole first. When do you think that this thing closes down, and do you think it opens at the same time as the one in Florida? Do you think that they're doing more prefab work on this one, maybe, and that's why it's going to be? They'll just input it. Maybe outside is. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
It's been closed for 4 months?
It closed the middle of January, I want to say.
Yeah, right after I came back.
Yeah, so it's 3 months.
Yeah, so it's been. Yeah. I can't see them closing Splash Mountain right now. It's too late. I think they're going to wait until after summer.
After summer?
Yeah, because I mean, it's Disney 100. You already have other things. It's not on the it's not on the list yet.
Right. Well, they're not. They don't want people to know. They don't want you to have that. Hey, come out the last day. But why would you not pump that up? I disagree for them not doing that, because they did it in Florida. Why not do it here when this is the original?
Right.
So I have a problem
with that. What was their reasoning for not wanting to pump that up? Because it was too busy in Florida?
No, they pumped it there. That's the last splash coming out on this day. That's closing this day. They haven't announced that here, and people are theorizing that they're not going to do it here because Disneyland couldn't contain the same kind of atmosphere that Florida did because of the space. Obviously, you know where you're standing there by the popcorn carts and stuff, and the Columbia's behind you. There's not a lot of space right there. There's not a lot of space in there by Splash Mountain in general, because it'll be just so crowded. But I mean, Toontown was crowded, so I mean that was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But so you say end of summer?
Yeah, maybe like September.
Okay. Joey, what do you think?
I still think the time that they're still targeting the late 2024. I think I might go. I'm going opposite again. I think it's going to go maybe in May, close to that time. The Splash Mountain in Disneyland is a lot more tighter and compact than the one in Florida.
It's not as big.
Yeah, and according to the model we saw, I don't think they need to do a whole lot of exterior other than the top.
Right. I agree. I completely agree.
And I think a lot of the animatronics, all that stuff, is already done. Like in the factory. So I think Disneyland's, like I said, it's just a little bit smaller than the one in Florida. That's why it's probably taking a little bit. So
that's where I was going with it too. I was thinking this. I'll say Memorial Day weekend is when they're going to close it. I think
I'll say very close to that.
That's crazy. That's like opening weekend for like boating season for like summer.
It is, but you have to give yourself enough time to do it and make it good. Unless, like what Joey said, unless so much, and like I was saying, unless so much is being done off property that it's more of a plug and play in Anaheim than it is in Florida. There could be more. Maybe they designed this whole thing off of what I think I heard this, that they designed more of it off of how California is. Yeah. So it could be just a lot more like, oh, this will go in this place, this will go in this place, and Florida's different in some spots. They have to change more stuff. So. Maybe.
And I think then maybe when Cole was saying it's closed, I think that's when French Market will close for its reef too.
It is closed.
Oh, it is closed now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
French Market's closed now. I saved you for last, Lewis. I wanted to get your thoughts on Splash Mountain. If Lewis had a choice, he'd say never. But I need a date. When do you think it's going to close?
I think it's going to be after summer. That's what I think. Yeah. But I also have a feeling that Disney's going to do it before summer. And just like we normally see, they closed Country Bears 2 weeks before the movies came out. So it would be in Disney's pattern to make a bad move and close it before summer. I would like to say that it's going to close after summer. And I honestly think if they do the last splash, you're going to see signs pop up saying this attraction closes at 8 p.m. Something like that, before fireworks, before Fantasmic, because Fantasmic's over there. So I could see them doing a sign saying this attraction closes early. So once you're in line, if you're not in line before 8 p.m., you're not riding it. That way they can that way you can still have your last splash and you have plenty of time. I think after summer, and I think the opening date gets pushed. I don't think if they try to keep that 2024 timeline, no fan is going to take that serious. It's going to be an Incredicoaster makeover, and it's going to be just an embarrassment to not only
and I completely disagree with you if you're going to say the Incredicoaster was an embarrassment makeover. And the Incredicoaster is brilliant.
It's a paint job and a couple fabrication characters.
You're out of your mind, dude. That's so much better than the other one. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's better than the other one, but I mean, you could have got a lot more theming to it than just
a roller coaster.
Yeah, but I mean, look at Shawn. Shawn's got a whole darkroom scene, and that's a roller coaster.
Okay.
So I mean, you could have did a lot more to it. And I think, and especially Splash, since it's a themed dark ride, if you don't do it justice, then I mean, heck, Snow White closed for almost a year just for the ending scene.
Yeah.
And that is brilliant. That was Imagineers retheming that whole thing. If they close it for less than a year and reopen it, fans aren't going to take it serious. It is not going to be received well. And then all of the Splash Mountain enthusiasts are going to say, see, you shouldn't have did it. Me personally, I don't want it to close. Right. But riding it, I see why it needs to close. It's dated. Unless you know that movie, you don't know those characters. You know the song, but that's it.
You think it'll take more than 9 months? Like, what if everything is done? What if Joey is right? And everything is done off property? It's far more condensed.
Right.
And I
didn't even think about the actual condensed part of it. Yeah,
But I mean, that's true. But if you're, this is a very controversial remodel. And do you think it's right to do it in such a quick timeline on a cheap budget to really say you're paying homage to Tiana versus saying, oh no, because that's the thing. Yes, they can do it all in switching out pieces, but is it really doing the character justice and really giving that ride its new style or new look versus, hey, we did this in a pinch, and then it causes more controversy. And right now, Disney needs to stay out of the controversy. And I think, hell, even if it is small things, close it for more than a year. Make it seem like you put a lot more magic into it. But doing it in a small turnaround time, no Disney enthusiast is going to take it serious and say, "Oh, they meant to do that."
Here's the thing with that. Here's my opinion on that. I think there's so much riding on this being a success for so many reasons. Obviously, the reason why it's being closed, who they chose to take over that space. And this is just walking a fine line here of not getting into too many things, but we all know why this is actually happening. I think Disney is going to knock this out of the park when it's done. I don't care if it takes 6 months, 9 months, a year. I think they're going to make sure it's done exactly right. The more I think about what Joey said now, I mean, you need to think about it. WED is on the West Coast. Everything is basically here. You don't have to ship it all across the country. It can be done a lot quicker than I don't know why they wouldn't wait until 2025 for the 70th anniversary, because that ride opened on July 17th
on the 35th anniversary.
On the third, yeah, and it would open on the 75th anniversary, the 70th anniversary of the park. I don't know why they wouldn't wait. I understand why they're rushing it. Maybe they changed their mind. Maybe they will wait till 2025 because that's Disneyland's 70th anniversary. What else are you going to bring then? You're not going to build a Tron roller coaster in a year in 2 years.
And they said late 2024, so bumping it to early 2025 is not that big of a deal.
It's really not.
You have to think, like, they built an entire, really, 3 of those years of Tron was COVID.
Right.
And it's a different ball of wax. Like, they couldn't get things. They had different restrictions. So you take 3 of those years off. That's 2 years for them to build something from the ground up. I feel that they should be able to do something magnificent in a 9-month period.
They built Galaxy's Edge in 2 years. So
Cars Land.
I mean, Galaxy's Edge is amazing. And it's 14 acres. So, you know.
You hit the nail on the head, though. I hope they just put everything they have into it. And we'll have to wait and see.
There's no hope they will. I guarantee you.
Now, you bring up a good point, though. You bring up a good point. Do you see it closing down July 17th on its anniversary?
Possible. It's possible.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Because then that's towards not the end of summer, but that's a little bit more towards the end of summer, and you close it on its anniversary.
Yep. He could. It's I don't know. It's going to be great. I can't wait for it.
Still makes no sense in Florida, though.
Why
Frontierland?
Yeah. I remember that was when I was writing articles. I wrote that article for the DisInsider about them. That was we not broke the news. Everyone else did at the same time, but I wrote the article about them changing that. And I remember because you can see if you wrote the article, people comment on your article, and people were pissed. And I understand people being pissed. I understand people like what they like, but I understand why they're doing it. We've talked about Splash Mountain all the time, and I can't wait. No disrespect, Lewis. I can't wait till it's gone so they can start doing the new one. But
no, I'm
looking forward to it. You know,
I'm on the same boat. I love the ride.
And I don't like change. I don't like you changing things. You tell me you're changing Pirates of the Caribbean, you're going to piss me off.
I like it. I mean, I don't mind them changing it. I can't wait to see parents trying to encourage their 7-year-old daughters to go see Princess Tiana, and they're like, on that 50-foot drop, you want me to go see my favorite princess?
Sure, yeah.
But, I mean, the ride is dated. I loved the last time I went on it. It was a great time, but the story, if the kids don't know it, and I mean, there's good reasons, there's bad reasons.
Us as parents to tell them the story.
But how do we tell them the story when there's no material to tell them the story? I mean, you can't even find books on it, so it's it sucks. But at the same time, I mean, it is what it is. And hopefully, they hit a home run in Tiana, because Princess and the Frog is a beautiful animated film.
Yeah. And I'm just worried about families that come from Louisiana and New Orleans. Like, there's no damn mountains in the bayou. Come on.
Right. Yep. Yeah. So that's it. That's kind of our parks news recap.
If you had an opportunity, if you had a theme, what would you theme Splash Mountain to? I've shared mine before. I think Jungle Book or Robin Hood would have been badass.
Nah, I still
do Jungle Book for sure.
I like Princess and the Frog. I think it's a brilliant idea. If that, I think it makes sense.
I think Tiana would have had been cool if they did like a dark ride. They revamped Winnie the Pooh, and you see them going like traveling through the other side with Dr. Facilia and Tiana. That would have been tight. Because I get what Joey said. There's no mountains in the bayou, so it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense theming wise.
Yeah. What I think would be cool, I was going to joke around and say, like, since it's so close to Galaxy's Edge, is expand Galaxy's Edge, make it like an Ewok water ride. But I was actually, which would be pretty badass. But I was actually just thinking, if it wasn't Tiana, which like I'm with Lewis, I love Splash Mountain. I haven't seen Song of the South in a long time, but I loved that movie as a kid. The story of Uncle Remus is about tolerance and coming together. So, but anyways, but if it wasn't Tiana, which I think is a great choice, I would think it'd be a cool way to bring back the original Country Bears in a water ride.
There you go. That's a good idea. Actually, that's a good idea. I miss the Country Bears. Sorry, Emma. I know Emma's a big fan of Winnie the Pooh. I missed the Country Bears. Country Bears was cool. I listened to that in the shower every morning, pretty much.
Oh yeah, and I still say the Country Bear, the Vacation Hoedown, is better than the original one that's still in Florida, in my opinion.
I agree. So we're gonna get into our topic of the week. What? Lewis is ready, all fired up. So, but I do want to do one thing. I want to do one thing first. I think we need to hear about our amazing sponsor, Getaway Today, because that gives us the opportunity to just kind of listen and hear about going to Orlando and beyond.
And beyond.
You just want to do it live, Cole?
Yeah, sure.
You're not down.
We'll be right back.
Well, hello, and welcome to Let's Get to Know Our Sponsor. Getaway Today has been helping Disney vacation dreams come true since 1990. Whether you choose to visit the happiest place on earth or travel to Orlando and beyond, they want to help you. Need to know the best hotel in the area? What theme park ticket should you buy? Have a last-minute change? No worries. Their travel experts are always here to help. Want to book a cruise and don't know where to start? Hey, they can help with that too. They will help you find the perfect cruise for your vacation, whether it is your first time or you're a well-seasoned cruiser. When you book your cruise with one of the Getaway Today's experts, you will have a dedicated agent to help you every step of the way. They take care of the details so you can have the most fun. Getaway Today has layaway, peace of mind travel, allowing you to cancel or make changes up to 72 hours in advance. You will always have the most up-to-date vacation information, both pre-arrival and upon your welcome. Getaway Today will guarantee the best prices with no hidden fees. And every time you book through Getaway Today, they will donate a portion back to a charitable organization in your area. And so far, over $4.5 million has been donated. So click the link in our show notes to start your Disney vacation planning for more information and the best deals. Tell them Walt's Apartment sent you. And until next time, enjoy the view from Walt's Apartment.
We love Getaway Today so much.
I do love them.
Yeah, they're awesome.
I'm looking forward to using them this summer.
Yes. Make sure you tell them Walt's Apartment sent you.
I will. I'll say the Pod Battle Champion Walt's Apartment
podcast.
Hey, there it
Battle
is.
3. So Corey last night was trying to convince me that we should do a podcast battle, that we should host one.
Oh yeah, he was telling me after too.
Yeah.
I don't got the time, bro.
And that sounds like a lot of work, man. But I'll help you. I'm like, it still sounds like a lot of damn work.
We just did our beer one. Sorry to kind of tangent, but we just had a final, and the final breweries are from like Roner Park, which is in the Bay Area here, and Clovis. And we had over 15,000 votes for the final round.
Jesus.
And it was separated by 16 votes. So
well, that's what, I was looking at this, like our final for our thing was 800 people voted on it. That's crazy. 800 people saw that. So that's crazy. We talked about this 2 weeks ago. Bob Gurr is a better Imagineer than Tony Baxter, which kicked off this huge ass, conversation. I said, screw it. Let's create our own Mount Rushmore of Imagineers. Mount Rushmore obviously is somewhere in South Dakota or something. It's got the 4 presidents on it.
National
We're gonna create our own. But I want to do it. I don't want to do like we all do our 4. I want to go around. We're going to each do one, and then we'll come back and each do our next one, and then we'll each come back. Or do you guys want to do just your 4 and discuss that? What do you guys think?
I like the 1 and 1, like going around into like 1, 2. I like that.
Everybody, what's happening?
Huh? Where'd she go?
She's frozen.
Cole, you there? All right, we're going to get into this Mount Rushmore. Nicole is having some connection issues. She's going to try and rejoin us. If not, we're just going to forge on without her, and we'll get her list and maybe put it up on Instagram or something if she doesn't make it back on. But let's get into this Mount Rushmore, top 4 Imagineers of all time in your eyes. And Lewis, now you're sitting in that number 1 spot right there.
Would it be Mount Mousemore?
Hey. Yeah,
that was dumb.
Back. This is actually perfect timing. Are you back? Yep. You there?
I'm trying. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we think we're going to put you here first. We're going to put Lewis here second. And then we'll put Joey here. You want to be a third? Here, we'll put Joey second.
Oh.
And then we'll go Cole. We just started back up. They were talking Star Wars, so we're all good. So
nerds.
Okay.
Yeah, they were talking that we have new Star Wars shows planned coming soon. So yeah. So we're gonna go down our list here. Mount Rushmore of Imagineers. Ladies always are first. I learned that on the DU show when you guys had your couples night. Ladies first. Nicole, who's your number 1 slot on your Mount Rushmore of Imagineers, and why?
Marty Sklar.
Okay, and why?
So he had his hands in everything. Like, he's not really known for like one project per se.
I was going to ask because I looked too to see if he is truly an Imagineer. I checked. So
yeah, he is.
Yeah,
he is. And he just had this Walt Disney, right?
Mm-hmm.
Walt.
Right.
He has his magic. And I guess I shouldn't keep talking too much because we got to go around the room. But
no, you're absolutely right.
Marty.
Marty's
my boy. Marty will always be my number one.
Marty's number 1, or he's just one of the 4?
He's my number 1.
Okay, that's good. That's
yeah.
Fair. Joey.
I forgot to ask rules. Is there overlapping Imagineers?
Yeah, it's totally fine. Yeah, it's totally fine because I think we're all gonna have a lot of the same. So
okay. Well, my number 1 is Marty Sklar.
Yeah.
And for the same reasons Nicole said, and I'll just add this: the only Imagineer that has worked and been at work on every park in the world.
Has had a hand in every single park. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, we can. Yes, Lewis, we can have an honorable mention.
Before we mention our last one,
all right, that's fair. Lewis, who's your number 1?
So you guys copied my list. I'm just saying. Marty Sklar.
Yeah,
he's the Walt of Imagineering. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
for sure. Let's just make it 4 for 4 because mine is that as well. So,
I love it.
When we went to that panel at D23.
Oh,
I knew about Marty Sklar, but now I really feel like I know a lot. But I think you lent me his book, Nicole, and I don't read, so maybe I'll read that down the road sometime. I'm on the first chapter of the Bob Iger book, but I feel like maybe I should put that away now because he's back. So it might not make as much sense to listen, or should I continue to read it?
Both are great books, but there's nothing better than that Marty book.
Okay, all right, perfect. All right, so number 2. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I should have probably hit the cough button. Nicole, who's your number 2?
Oh, that's okay. So my number 2 is actually John Hench.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you know what? If I were to think like going into the park, I get like a certain like warm and fuzzy when I look up and I see the castle.
Mm-hmm.
And I get a warm and fuzzy. It's the same thing at Magic Kingdom, and he's responsible for both. And I really had to think about, like, you guys all know, like, it's all about how I feel, right? Like, I don't think with my head, I think with my heart.
Sure.
And John Hench definitely brings, like, the largest something to the park.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, everyone knows the Disney Castle.
Sure.
I mean, just like Bob Gurr, everyone knows the Matterhorn. But, like, there's just something magical about those two castles.
I've been doing some research about Bob Gurr, and I have different thoughts on it. Not different thoughts on him, but but we'll get into that on next Thursday. But Joey,
yes, we will.
Joey, who is your number?
Well, that was a good one. I mean, like I said, I just want to pick it. I'm not saying I'm picking it, but pick it. Everybody when they get to see the castles for the first time,
yeah,
you feel that special spot when you're at a Disney movie. You see the logo with a castle, same thing. So great choice. I'm going with Tony Baxter for my number two. Well, being in my 40s, so much of the modern Disneyland is Tony Baxter. A lot of stuff at Florida also, and extra points for just bumping into the guy at D23 and taking a picture. So
yeah,
and of course,
that's awesome.
Me and Sam have mentioned it plenty of times, but Barnaby Bouillon. T Bullion on Big Thunder Mountain, SEA.
Okay.
Yeah, Lewis mentioned you could see him in the Big Thunder Mountain in the bar. So
I actually saw a text, or not a text, but a Twitter or something that says that Tony Baxter did a talk today about Big Thunder Mountain. So I'm hoping to find that later and watch it. It looks pretty interesting. Cool. I hope you can watch it. Lewis, how about you? Who's your number two?
My number two is going to be Mark Davis. I just like
that's my runner-up, yo.
Mark Davis is one I like coming from the animation side and being able to draw all the princesses and stuff like that to then go into the parks. And I shared this in a previous episode, but one of the few guys that kind of told Walt, like, hey, this is good. It could be better. And so, really just having an opinion and different views on the most simplistic things and adding just a little bit more magic and making the magic times 10 in the guest eye. So my number two is Mark Davis.
That's a good
one.
Solid.
And Mark Davis is like for the tiki room and stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I agree.
So my number two is it's Bob Gurr. And I've been doing research for mine and Lewis's thing, and I found something that I was gonna share it on there and leave it on there. But Bob Gurr really, if you really think about it, he really wasn't an Imagineer, and I learned this just like the other day. I watched a 2-hour interview with him, and he only created one thing ever in the Disney parks that he actually created. Everything else wouldn't be working without him, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Matterhorn was not his creation. He created the track system in it. The monorail was already created. He just basically made it work in a theme park. The Doom Buggies, he told the story of how the Doom Buggies came up. He didn't come up with the idea of the Haunted Mansion, but the Haunted Mansion wouldn't be what it was if it wasn't with what he did. And I'll save the story for how he did that for our battle, because it's a really cool story. But
I
you guys,
see magic like literally spewing from Big L's pores right now. He's so excited for next week.
So do you guys know what the one thing in any Disney park that I'm gonna let everyone else guess if you know?
Yeah, that's why I'm raising my hand. I'm not shouting.
Do you guys have any idea what the one thing Bob Gurr created himself from beginning to end? Does anyone else have an idea besides Joey?
Autopia?
Okay. That's your guess? Autopia is your guess? Lewis, what's your guess?
That's what I was going to say was Autopia.
No. It was Joey.
The fire truck.
The fire truck that was up and down Main Street was the only thing that he created from the ground up, which I thought was just amazing. And the way he words it, he doesn't really consider himself an Imagineer because he didn't do any of that stuff. But I think he's definitely the ideas of everything he came up with in his head to make all those other things work are Bob Gurr. Like you said, Nicole, you look all over, well, like I said something before, you look around the land, Bob Gurr had a hand in that, had a hand in that, had a hand in that, had a hand in that. So
I saw him speak at a panel at a MouseCon like 5 years ago. And he pretty much said that he was fixing and tinkering what the other guys are trying to create, and he would get them.
They had the ideas, and he made it actually become a reality, which is why I think he's one of the best Imagineers out there.
And Walt wanted a vehicle or another vehicle, and he made it a fire truck.
Yeah, and Walt wanted a fire truck, and Bob Gurr's like, okay. Another fun fact.
I'll get you a fire truck, sir.
It's not really a fun fact about Walt Disney, but the last picture taken of Walt Disney in Disneyland before he died was
from Bob Gurr,
in the fire truck with Mickey Mouse in front of the castle. Yeah, so Bob got pretty emotional in his thing. They asked him about how he felt when Walt died. He goes, "Next question." Wouldn't even answer him. He's just straight up. He couldn't handle it. And I'm like, okay. And this was like in 2018. So, but it's still great interview just about his life. And
not only that, for Bob Gurr, you got to think how many times is that's probably a top 10 question that he gets. And you see in the Imagineering story, he gets choked up in that.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm sure that's a question that gets asked all the time, and I'm sure he's probably like, there's plenty of interviews out there of me answering that. I'm not answering.
And there's one of I think
we live, every
one of probably 3 or 4 people that worked with him that are still alive, if you really think about it. You know what I mean? That worked hand in hand with him. Yes, Tony Baxter did, but I mean, Bob Gurr was with him before Disneyland opened. So. But okay, Cole, what's number 3?
Mary Blair.
It's a good one.
Yeah, okay. Mary Blair's my my number 3. For many reasons.
Okay.
I went to Walt Disney World a few years ago, and I had the fun experience of seeing her mural
in the Contemporary
at the Contemporary Resort.
So cool.
So it's not just like Small World, but she had a hand in Peter Pan as well. But just the story of like her being a female working in at the time, a predominantly male environment, and how she really just brought all of those little characters to life in Small World, and how much every costume was made from scratch, and her vision. And so it's Mary Blair for sure.
For sure. Okay, that's a really good one. Joey, how about you?
I miss her mural at Tomorrowland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. What a mistake.
Let's see. And I was almost going to do one like a all male and an all female.
Yeah.
You could do a Mount Rushmore with so many great female Imagineers. Yeah. I'm going to go Mr. Joe Rohde.
Nice.
On this one.
That's a good one.
Just for the modern.
That guy.
Yeah. Yep. You met him at D23.
Yeah.
Animal Kingdom, Everest, Mission Breakout. I mean, the dude's just, his Instagram is killer. Especially when he's
still good. He goes on these tangents. Yeah. So epic.
Yeah.
So
he's brilliant too.
Yeah.
He's so smart. And I thought his segments in Imagineering Story were some of the best segments in the whole show.
Yeah.
Like diving, the way he dived in and how he did the research and stuff like that. And he brought us Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. Come on,
and especially with Pandora, he's like, I never saw this movie with blue people. Then he created, and the fact that he was at opening day, the same day in Florida for Pandora, flew to Disneyland for the same day, opening day of Mission Breakout. Yep. Come on, that's awesome. So yeah,
he's Joe Rohde. Joe Rohde for sure. Lewis, who's your number 3? All right. You want me to say mine while you're chewing? All right. So my number 3 is Tony Baxter. Yes, we're doing a debate with Bob Gurr and Tony Baxter, but I respect Tony Baxter just as much as Bob Gurr. Just to be clear, I can choose a side, but Tony Baxter's a badass. You got Splash Mountain and Big Thunder Mountain, which is my top 2 It's in my top 2. Star Tours, Indiana Jones, dude's freaking brilliant as well. And the way I thought in Imagineering, the way that his stuff was presented as well too, like how he came up with stuff. And Tony Baxter, definite Mount Rushmore, number 3 for me. Now back to Lewis.
I don't know if that was meant to be how I was chewing, so you skipped to do you, and then you would mention Tony Baxter.
Yeah.
Stars lined up.
He didn't give you that candy bar.
Yeah. What were you
I'm never going to be skinny. Look at this thing. This is like my lunch, breakfast, and dinner.
What is that?
Hershey's
Reese's
Kit Kat.
That's amazing. Yeah.
This is what happens when you're working like 14-hour days. You just eat candy.
Diabetic's dream right there.
Yeah. I'm never going to be skinny. Anyway.
Okay. It's overrated.
My number 3, this is a hard one, but my number 3 is Rolly Crump.
Oh, good one.
Okay. Why? Because he's a badass?
I like the universal touch that he has to everything he does. He's not a one-trick pony, but not only that, there's so much that we've read about Rolly Crump that we've never actually seen, that if given the tools, the time spent, and all that, imagine what else could have been done. Not only that, being able to replicate and become a chameleon in the Imagineer. There's so many Imagineers that are known for that one thing or those two things. Rolly Crump was always like a chameleon where he can do this, he can do that. Again, going back to what I shared on Mark Davis, though, he's not one to say, hey, Walt, that's good. This can be better. One of my favorite lines from Imagineering story is where he says, Rolly, you have any problems with it? No. All right, we'll get to building finally. Like, he just has an opinion, and obviously that seems to be the quality that runs with all the shows I do, is just the opinion. Let's think about outside the box. So that's why Rolly Crump is my number 3 or number 2, depending on which way you're looking at the count.
That's fair. Okay, that's true, because it depends which way you're looking from the thing. But okay, so let's go now, like Lewis. Let's do our honorable mention before we do our 4th one. So Nicole, who's your honorable mention?
Well, I'm second guessing myself if my 4th was an Imagineer.
Oh.
I thought I had read somewhere. I'll
Kung Fu
circle back.
Panda?
So my number 5 is Mark Davis.
Just a good one.
So for Tiki Pirates Mansion, obvious reasons.
Kung Fu Panda was not an
Alice.
Imagineer, by the way.
Huh?
Kung Fu Panda was not an Imagineer. So if that's what you're thinking.
Shit. See?
Yeah.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank
No
you
problem.
for that.
Yeah, so you can change that.
So yeah.
I'm an asshole.
Joey, were you on that episode?
I don't think I was, so I'm just lost.
Listing out, and we were listing out movies, and I said Kung Fu Panda, and they're like,
It was one of her favorite Disney animated films.
Yeah, and they were like, and I was like, no, it is, and then my face just turned like 10 shades of red. Yeah.
Mark Davis is your honorable mention. Perfect. Okay.
Yes.
Joey, how about you?
My honorable mention is Bob Gurr.
Oh man, that's fair.
So
at least you still said his name, so that's good.
Yeah.
Lewis, how about you?
So my honorable mention, before I say it, shout out to all the female Imagineers. I'm sorry none of you guys made my list. I do apologize, but they are home run hitters. It's just a very saturated list to only bring 4. My honorable mention was Claude Coates.
Ooh, that's a good one too.
Solid.
Okay.
Oh, that's a really good one.
Mine is Rolly Crump. My honorable mention. I love Rolly. He's cool. I was going back and forth between him and my number 4, but yeah. So let's do this now. Let's go back up to Nicole, and we're going to try to let's all guess what we think of the 4th one is.
Oh, that's a hard one.
You'll never guess because I don't know that they're Imagineers. I thought they were.
She's all Steven Spielberg.
Yes, absolutely. Jack Black. Mm-hmm.
Dwayne Johnson.
That's right. The Rock.
So my number 4 would be the Sherman Brothers.
I would put them in.
So I had read or seen something on Disney Plus about them being like the music
right
of
the parts.
Imagineering, like,
Yeah.
and bringing the voice and the tone and the tunes to life through these other things that they Imagineer. So, but I was second guessing myself because of my Kung Fu Panda incident, and I don't really see like.
Do we all think that they should be considered Imagineer?
Well, since you shared that, I mean, and no disrespect to Bob Gurr on this, if Bob Gurr created things that move for the rides, and Yale Gracie created the smoke and mirrors effects for rides, the Sherman Brothers, would you ride Small World if you didn't have that sound?
Probably not.
Right. Or
Would
like
you sit in the tiki room without that sound?
or the tiki
Probably not.
room, or
I would, but the song's awesome.
yeah.
But I think that
I mean, they literally created Walt's favorite song.
I would consider them Imagineers.
It's funny.
Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow.
So,
Yeah.
so the Imagineer is more than just, So I guess going back on what Bob Gurr said, I guess the Imagineer is more than just the guy that says, "Hey, let's build a ride let's build a log ride that's based off this movie."
Well, yeah, because they're masters of imagination.
So they're all
That's what an
Imagineers. I
Imagineer
completely, I second it. The Sherman Brothers is a great choice.
I
Yeah.
I
Okay. Got it. Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
There you go.
Sherman
So number
Brothers,
4 for
number
you is the
4.
Sherman Brothers. This is a great choice.
Hey, I'm going to guess that she says Sherman Brothers.
Hey!
Yeah.
Big L for the win. That's weird. Big L for
Yeah. Big L for the W.
Joey, how about
So
you?
I'm actually changing my honorable mention.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I love Bob Gurr, but
Oh
No,
man.
but I'm going to say Existencio
Ooh.
for my honorable mention.
Ooh.
Um,
That's a good one.
I mean, just alone for Pirates and Mansion alone.
No shit.
Not just the attraction, but the songs on both of those. So that's
supposedly Existencio brought the boys together to finish the mansion because they were fighting over it.
Yeah.
Because they all wanted different things, and X is like, no, Walt would want it this way, and we're going to do it this way, And he did write the song that continuously goes, and
And I know Lewis appreciates, but he's also was an animator as well too. So, but I can't believe I forgot about him. And as much as I love Bob Gurr,
so Bob Gurr got booted by Existencio, and so who's your number 4?
Are you guys guessing, or do I guys? I'm just wondering. I don't.
Bob Gurr?
No.
Okay.
So you're no Imagineer.
Can I Google a list?
See, that's why I question if Marty was a true Imagineer, because did he really come up with the no I'm just saying, did he come up with the if the way we're discussing this, did he come up with the idea of anything himself?
Yes.
Said what?
He came up with the 10 Commandments of Imagineering. So without that, how do you Imagineer?
Again, that's not my question. My question is an attraction. Did he come up?
And he came up with the college program.
Okay. Again,
so
still doesn't go.
I mean,
he's a master of imagination.
He did.
I'm not arguing with. I'm just saying if we've broadened our definition of an Imagineer, I think, since we started this.
He did write a lot of Walt's speeches for opening the lands, the parks, and anniversaries.
But at the same time, if that's the case, Walt's an Imagineer. But Walt's not considered an Imagineer. So if that's the case, if we go back to the context where it says, "Hey, we're building this, we're building that," then if we're going by that definition, and I'm gonna probably catch some heat in the comments here when this comes out, but I wouldn't say Marty's an Imagineer then.
I think we should go off of what the definition of Imagineering is, and that is master of imagination, which would be Marty.
Anyone. It could be us.
No.
And it could have been Walt, but I know that's too easy.
That is too easy.
I still say Marty's an Imagineer.
I know. I'm not saying that he's not. I'm just saying we've discussed. He's all of our number 1, obviously, for a reason. So it wasn't just because we said that. It just broadens the whole idea of what an Imagineer is, which is I like that we have these conversations because it brought out a whole different thing. You know what I mean? Like Nicole said, are the Sherman Brothers Imagineers? Yes, because they used imagination to come up with those songs. to come up with the most annoying song in the world that everyone loves, but it's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow too. So
great song. I'll just say my fourth one then.
Okay.
Rolly Crump.
That's a great one.
For everything we mentioned from before.
Yeah.
Tiki Room, Mansion. One of my favorite things is when you hear the story about when he was doing the designs for Mansion and Walt left, then he sees them the next morning. He's like, "You son of a bitch! I couldn't sleep all night." But yeah, then he's
they had a really special relationship.
Yeah,
Rolly and Walt.
Yeah, and the fact that
him telling stories about Walt are great.
Oh yeah, and just the fact that he was the first of the new generation beyond the old guys, and they didn't like it, and he didn't give a crap. So yeah.
Go ahead, Lewis. Your number. I must say, Lewis's number 4 is Bob Gurr.
You're saying Bob Gurr?
Yeah.
All right, Joey.
I'm gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna say Leo Toombs.
Well, he said he didn't pick any women.
Then I wasn't paying attention.
If the viewers could see Joey's face, he's just
yeah.
Hold on, I'm gonna do.
Well, I got no guess.
I gave you a clue. They have been mentioned already today.
Okay.
Sherman Brothers.
Dick Nunes.
Dallas Davis.
Card Walker.
No. Oh, I should have done
that. John Hench.
No, honestly, John Hench was one. When you mentioned John Hench, that was one that I questioned as an Imagineer.
Yeah, but I think
He absolutely is an Imagineer. He built the damn castle, yo.
Did he build it or did he just draw it?
Still,
if that's Walt Disney.
Now we're just getting technicals.
I'm just kidding. So my number one, and I mentioned this. Was it?
It's actually not your number one. It's your number 4 we're talking about.
Oh, no, these guys are all equal. It's Mount Rushmore. No one's higher or lower.
Okay, got it. I'm with you.
Well, actually, one has their own mountain. So it's 3 and then 1. My number 4 is Joe Rohde.
Oh, solid.
There you go.
Nice.
There you go.
Yeah, solid. Joe Rohde, just the way he looks at things, like why, what if. I love that about him. And the fact that he'll question a question and then question and answer again to make sure that you're following with your original question. And I like that thought process on it. So, ironically, Tony Baxter and Bob Gurr did not make my list, and we're not an honorable mention. They get enough fan base. They're great Imagineers, but there's a lot of fan base out there for Baxter and Gurr. The other guys need some credit too, and definitely the females of Imagineering as well. It was just really hard to put them up against those 4 that I mentioned, or 4.5.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys guess.
A women Imagineering.
We should do what?
So we're guessing your number 4.
Oh, sorry, you're number 4.
No, wait. What'd you say, Cole? About women Imagineering?
I just was saying we should do an episode of based around women of Imagineering.
Absolutely, that'd be great. Well, Sam was doing that with her book, and then we kind of stepped away from her Imagineering feature because she was going to just feature women for a while. So
yeah, Alex recently bought the book, and we were highlighting, and we're going to be highlighting throughout the year because got to get credit where credit is due. Yeah, it sounds amazing, and
Leslie Iwerk, Alice.
I mean, I feel bad now that I didn't put a woman in mine either. So, I mean, it's,
But like Big L said, and I think even Joey, he was you literally could have a whole list of both.
We could do brackets for how many Imagineers that we could do an Imagineer bracket, which, hey, it's a great idea actually. But
it actually is.
Trademark.
Hey, instead of podcast battle, Imagineer battle.
That'd be fun, dude. That'd be fun. I do like the podcast battle because it includes 15 other shows. And Corey said that he picked up 500 followers by doing that. So, I mean.
Yeah, I'm shouting him out or putting him on blast right now. I'm like, why don't you do the thing? He's like, oh, no, because it'd be weird. But I'm like, but you gained all these followers still, you son of a.
You do get a lot of followers. But maybe we'll look at that in the fall. We'll try to do it. We'll come up together with a plan for all of us to work on together. But who do you think my number 4 is?
So let's see. You have Sklar, Gurr, and Baxter.
Mm-hmm.
Raleigh Crump was your honorable mention.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Davis.
Okay.
I'm going to go Mary Blair.
Okay.
I was going to say Mark Davis as well.
Okay. I'll probably surprise you, but it's Joe Rody as well.
Oh.
Yeah. He's great.
Yeah.
I remember when that's when I first kind of started getting into, I mean, I've always been into Disney, but that's kind of like brought back like all the changes. I'm like, who's this guy with the weird ass earring and stuff? And like, why is he changing Tower of Terror, which is a great ride? And I'm like, wait a second. I know, Nicole, you've never been on it, but Guardians of the Galaxy.
One time.
You have. Okay.
So much better.
Is one of the best things in, it's top 5 attraction for me in Disneyland Resort. It's so much fun. Makes you kind of sick. Makes me still kind of sick, but it's a good kind of sick because it goes away really quick too. Once you get out and you're like kind of settled again.
So I rode it the first time, last time I was there at a challenge, and it was you got to ride it with your hands up the entire time, and that's a whole new adrenaline rush.
Oh yeah.
As soon as you sit down and buckle up and the hands go up, the entire time, that little moment where you get out of the seat for a hot second. That first time feeling that, I was ready to do this, but of course, I was in the middle of an activity, and man, it was an adrenaline rush. I walked off that ride like I will never grab those handlebars ever again.
Yeah, I have to grab it. I don't know. It's just a thing. I'm fat, so I'm worried that I'm going to snap that damn thing and bounce up the top of the cage.
Oh, even if you put your hands out just like dead like this too. Sorry for our audio listeners. I just have my hands out, but
it's so
I
love that ride. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
But that's our Mount Rushmores. We crushed it. We did a great job.
Good job, everybody.
As always.
Thank you, guys.
Let's
we
go.
won't do a Disney Parks, did you know? Because we went pretty long, and that's fine. But we will be back in 2 weeks. Update on Lisa from Walt's Chili Bowl. I said on the main show the other night that she's having some work issues, so she will not be joining us for a while, it appears, till she gets some stuff handled. So you're just stuck with us for a while. But anyone have anything to say before we wrap up the show?
Next Thursday, catch Undisputed, Gurr versus Baxter, and a couple other topics. Stay tuned.
Just for the record, when we talk about that, I actually put the 2 competitors in my Mount Rushmore. Lewis didn't even. So,
ooh.
I mean, I'm just kind of saying. I mean,
if we're going to go there, who's winning 80 to 20%? I'm just saying.
Dude,
so gonna go there.
Yeah, I wish I could reach out to all my friends and have them vote for me too. My work didn't even vote for me, so that's a bunch of bullshit. I don't think they realize that we can look and see who voted.
Dude, I had a little PTSD asking people to vote for me. I was like, here we go. We're back in the battle.
I saw TC Chevy. And I'm like, Lewis, what the hell? Okay, that's awesome. Thanks, guys. Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah. I went into the old Walt's apartment one just to vote for myself, just to get another vote because I was getting my ass beat. I still got beat, but I don't care.
But just to be honest, I only had like 4 people vote for me, and those 4 people have like multiple accounts. So
yeah, it was perfect. It was so much fun. Nicole, thank you so much for joining us. Joey, Tiki Cast, Disney Universe Podcast, Fresh Hops Podcast, All Aboard Podcast, The Mando Show. You missing any?
Walt's Apartment.
Well, yeah, we know that one. I mean,
that's it.
Right
yeah,
now.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Lewis, Sunken City Design. Have a great time tomorrow night. Have fun. Let us know how it goes.
I will.
Send us pictures. We want to see pictures.
Yeah, send us pictures because we'll be, some of us will be coloring Easter eggs, getting ready for Easter. Whenever you hear this, hope whoever listens to have a nice Easter holiday.
I work Easter.
But appreciate all of you, and we hope you have a magical day. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land. Here age relives fond memories of the past. And here youth may savor the challenge and promise of the future. Disneyland is dedicated to the ideals, the dreams, and the hard facts that have created America, with the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.